Well, it's been a good year for Big Pharma. The same can't be said for the broader biotech space. Check out the XBI NASDAQ Biotech ETF. It is down nearly 20% this year as investors pulled their money out of COVID beneficiaries and into the recovery trade. As the Wall Street Journal points out today, the only winners in this space this year made two things: vaccines and deals. But that's not all bad news, because those winners are now flush with cash, eager to splash it around on some of these underperforming biotech names. Our next guest has got a few ideas about what those next major takeout targets could be. Let's bring in Jefferies healthcare and biotech analyst Michael Yee. Michael, always great to see you.
Great to see you.
Is there a theme to the targets that you're identifying in terms of maybe expertise in certain spaces or certain kinds of drugs?
It's a great question. You know, I certainly think the theme is, number one, huge blockbuster opportunities and big drugs that can move the needle at guys like Pfizer, Lilly, Merck, et cetera. We need big drugs. We need big blockbuster drugs to move the needle. So that's obviously a key theme to think about. And I've got a couple of those for 2022. Yeah.
Can you run me through your highest conviction one?
Well, I'd say a couple of them. Argenx, ticker ARGX, assuming approval this week on a big blockbuster drug. Mirati, MRTX, with a huge lung cancer KRAS drug. And Alnylam, ALNY, huge opportunity there as well. All of these certainly people thinking about for 2022.
Is there any concern on your part? Because there had been a concern at one point that, you know, if you're big enough to make a deal and you've got the cash, that you've also got enough cash and enough wherewithal to make a big mistake. Could we be entering that territory at this point, or have valuations come down so much that the size of the mistake is more limited?
Well, you know, I think on some of these opportunities, the drugs are certainly well de-risked enough that people should feel comfortable, certainly relative to the size of these acquisitions, 10, 20, 25, $30 billion in total, relative to the size of Pfizer or Lilly or Merck. And I'd also say, quite frankly, you know, look, these companies are so flush with cash. Pfizer, over $50 billion just from COVID revenues in the last 2 years, huge Powerball, you know, winner there, that these guys probably have to deploy some of that. So I think people expect that to happen. I think these guys have to move on it. And I think that could be a big tailwind for the biotech sector.
Hey, Michael, it's Tim. For investors that are not staring at the space like you are every single day, it's interesting. There's serious skew or spread between the valuations. I mean, Lilly trades, even with this up guidance next year, 31, 32 times. You've got a Merck trading lower. Help people understand why this spread is the way it is, and really who you like at what price.
That's a great question. You know, maybe always kind of like in a lot of sectors, though, it's the haves and the have-nots. Everyone wants to crowd into the haves. Chart looks great. Momentum looks great. Lilly beats numbers, raised guidance. Everyone thinks it's great, and they want to be there. Then you got guys like a Vertex, which is probably my conviction idea for 2022. You pull up that chart, that has been terrible all year long. There's a big overhang on some competitor cystic fibrosis data from AbbVie. I think that data won't look great. I think Vertex certainly has a lot of white space to move up in 2022. So that's a huge situation. It's been very bad in large cap biotech. Certainly think Vertex could be one to turn it around.
Michael, thank you. Good to see you. Michael Yee of Jefferies. Karen, I want to go to you quickly on Pfizer. I'm curious how you think about the $50 billion in cash and the need, so to speak, to do a deal. Because the need to do a big deal could be a big mistake, or it could be a home run.
Yeah, although, you know, a big mistake for them isn't necessarily a big mistake just given how big they are. But I hope that they do smart deals. We did see them we saw a couple deals this week, right? I like Pfizer a lot. I actually like all the big cap pharma just because I like the low PE multiples and growth. So this is a place where I have a meaningful amount of exposure.